All right, man, peace. It's Bronzebird here with another video. So this is a little bit of an old article going on about 2 weeks now, but it still was very important to have this as a topic of conversation because I find it funny that this election is so widespread with people around the world giving their opinions about who is a better president and who's crashing out and who's doing this and who's doing that, which is a video I may do in the future to do a little bit of fact checking to a lot of claims as would have been made. And maybe if there's a theory of there's going to be another election or another debate that's going to happen between Trump and Harris. But as it stands now, there's a lot of things that's going on, such as the whole entire another assassination attempt on Trump's behalf. And a lot of this might have been foreshadowed allegedly by a Simpsons episode. But today's video is going to be talking about the Pope, who surprisingly gave his testimony about what he thinks about the two candidates that's going ahead and running against each other for the upcoming election in November. So I found it very much interesting that the Pope decided to speak on this when it came to elections before this and other candidates. I didn't really see the Pope make any statements about the elections, but he came forward and he had some words to say. So let's check it out. Shout outs to CNN. So it says Pope Francis criticizes Trump and Harris and says voters must choose between lesser of two evils. And before I start reading this article, in my opinion, it's been this long-lasting words that's been said all the time, the phrase, the lesser of two evils, to denote the fact of the matter that both of them are evil, both of them are part of the same coin and same agenda, but you have to vote for the lesser of two evils. Now, those that's been paying attention to this YouTube page, and not only mine, what has been the recurring theme since 2020, or even before then? Voting for the lesser of two evils, which is a smoke signal in saying that this country is going to shit, in which a lot of people do know that this country is going to shit. But to now say that you have no choice, your back is against the wall, you know both presidents isn't good, but you have to choose the one that has less poison than the other. It's rather remarkable. Let's check it out. So it says, Pope Francis on Friday described the choice U.S. voters must make in the presidential election as one between the lesser of two evils, deeming former President Donald Trump's anti-migrant policies and Vice President Kamala Harris' support of AB rights as both being against life. One must choose the lesser of two evils. Who is the lesser of two evils? That lady or that gentleman? I don't know. Francis said during a press conference on the papal plane, referring to Harris and Trump, everyone with a conscience should think on this or do it. Francis has been more vocal about politics than his predecessors and has moved to make the Catholic Church more open. And let's take a pause right there. When they say about being more open, we're really saying, in my opinion, allegedly, I think that when they say more open, being more left leaning. And therefore they want to say, love is love and, people should be having the free will choice, but at the same time, not supporting pertinent issues such as this or the migrant crisis, but same things of the Catholic Church that was previously against things like gay marriage. Now they're like saying that it's fine for gay marriage, or these different things that a lot of Catholics would usually disagree with. So it's just really funny how things become more in tandem and in talks. And in my opinion about Catholicism itself, or Pope Francis, there's a lot of skeletons in that man's closet, in my opinion, but he has a lot of nerve to talk about Trump and Harris. Let's continue. While he has consistently and strongly defended the Catholic Church's teaching that AB is the deliberate destruction of a human life, Francis has also insisted it cannot be isolated from other issues concerning human life, including immigration. To send migrants away, to leave them wherever you want to leave them, it's something terrible. There is evil there. To send away a child from the womb of the mother is an assassination because there is life. We must speak about these things clearly, he said. Francis has previously weighed in on political issues, signaling more progressive stances by allowing priests to forgive AB, authorizing blessings for same-sex couples, and repeatedly warning about climate change. He has challenged Catholic bishops in the US who have insisted that AB is the preeminent issue, arguing that the plight of migrants is also about the defense of life. In 2016, Francis described then presidential candidate Trump's plan to build a wall to stop migrants from crossing the US-Mexico border as not Christian. And when bishops were debating in 2021 whether to deny communion to public figures who support AB rights, including President Joe Biden, Francis urged them to make their decisions from a pastoral viewpoint and not a political one. The Pope has said he has never denied communion to anyone. Francis has criticized couples who choose to have pets rather than children, aligning with views expressed by Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, a converted Catholic who has derided women without kids as childless cat ladies and described those in the country's leadership class who don't have children as more sociopathic. And I find it a little bit weird that Francis would try to say that just because a couple that decides to get married and say they don't want to have kids, there's something wrong with them. And that, they should be, it's all these different things. In my opinion, about JD Vance giving that statement, I have a feeling that he's been consuming a lot of red pill content and he has been watching the notable quote unquote manosphere. But that's just my opinion. US Catholics also have a range of views. According to Pew Research, 52% of Catholic registered voters describe themselves as being or leaning Republican, while 44% say they are or lean Democrat. Catholic voters were split in 2020, with 50% voting for Biden and 49% supporting Trump. According to Pew, but a majority of Catholics, 61%, believe AB should be legal in all or most cases. And going back to that, so many different things that go on in this country and in the world where the opinions about AB is this and AB is that, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't want to give my political affiliations, who I would vote for or who is it that I think is better as president, but it's the same old show that's happening right now. The idea that the Democrats or the Democrats, is using Harris as a way to talk about these issues about carrying the American public by giving more credence to left-leaning issues instead of focusing more on things that's supposed to happen in America, such as labor shortage. She did talk about the whole thing that happened with, the inflation period, but there's more in store that she should talk about. Trump, there's a whole bunch of things that Trump is going over. I've seen a lot of people that was talking about Trump and how he made that statement about migrants that were eating pets. Now, I don't think a lot of people leaned and sat up there and said that he was directly talking about Haitians, but that wasn't what it was. See, it goes to the statements, and then people will come back and say, but he did say Haitians. No, he didn't. He sat up there and said migrants. People have to be very careful with words. But how I see it, again, Trump and Harris is part of the same team. It's two people, two sides of the same coin. Yeah, they may not stand the same on issues, but we have the understanding the smaller hats and people that's behind there know exactly who they're selecting this November. And without a shadow of a doubt, Francis is not innocent himself. I believe Pope Francis is involved in a lot of different things out there that he does not want to bring to the light. But a lot of people who follow Pope Francis, it's nothing much to you. There's no problem with that. But there is evils in that underworld. I'm not saying Catholics are evil, but just Pope Francis himself may have a lot of skeletons in his closet, as I believe. But if you like what you heard, make sure you give this video a like, share, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Peace.